Alright, so here we are with the wagon wheel that I modeled the other day, and it's time to texture this thing, and I'm going to texture it in Substance Painter. Yeah, so let's go over to UV editing window. So we got our model here on the right side in layout, and we've got our UV grid right here. Alright, now what we can do is I can hit A and I can select everything. These are all separate pieces. They're not joined. The modifiers have not been applied. And go to edit mode, and you can see that it already has unwrapped all of the parts by itself. I'm going to press U, unwrap, and it's done it again. Now, there is a little margin set here. Either it was 0 before and I messed around with it at one point and I changed it to 0.3, or maybe it defaults to that. I'm not quite sure. That means there's going to be a small distance between the pieces so that they're not overlapping. So I've just done U and unwrap. There are no seams in here. I want to see what it looks like in Substance Painter if we were just to use that technique, okay, instead of unwrapping it by hand or using another method. I want to show you that there are materials that I have put on the parts. So if I come to the materials, you can see it says metal wagon wheel. Now I put metal in front and then just wagon wheel because I'm going to have other metals in my scene. I'm going to use this for the old train station, and I'm going to have metal garbage can or metal lamp, and so I can find them easily. Metal wagon wheel. So I've created a material there, and all of these pieces that will be metal have the same material, metal wagon wheel. All of these, including this. Now, that should be fine. If we come over here, I've got, that should say wood wagon wheel. It says WAD wagon wheel. You get the idea. Wood wagon wheel. The hub here, wood wagon wheel. All right. The other piece of wood is here, but this says wood wagon wheel main. And the reason I did that, instead of having the same material for all of the wood, is because this is an important piece right here, and I want the grain for this to go around. I have found that if I group all of the wood together, and in Substance Painter use the same wood on everything in that material group, which would be the wheel, the spokes, and the hub, it puts the wood on, but I don't get the concentric circles I want. So I'm giving this a separate material on its own, and then these two together. We'll try it and we'll see. So I've got I guess 3 materials assigned, and I've done the most basic UV unwrap you can. No seams, just select it all, hit unwrap. Okay. Everything is selected. And there's my wagon wheel. Okay. All right, so you can see over here, metal wagon wheel for the metal parts, wood wagon wheel just for the general wood for the hub and the spokes, and wood wagon wheel main. Before I do anything, I need to bake my textures. So come over here. I'm going to choose bake mesh maps, and I'm going to choose 2048 or 2K. What we then need to do is have a look at this. Sometimes you can tell before you put a material on if there's any problems, and sometimes you get errors in here as well. Is it okay? All right, so might be a little error in there. Yeah, it looks a little funny, but it might turn out okay, but I'm not liking it. You see this stuff here? Okay, so that doesn't look too nice, but I want to try anyhow with a little bit of this. Metal wagon wheel, let's delete the main layer, and under Smart Materials, let's search for metal. And I'm going to drag this steel dark into the layers tab there. And there's the steel. Now, do I have a seam on here? I mean, I didn't make one, so hopefully it looks okay. Now, for what I am doing, I could probably get away with that, but I see discoloration up here. This is wood right here. Let me hide the metal. Okay, the top part there. Okay, so I think there's a problem with this UV unwrap. Let's go on a little bit more just to experiment. Let's try putting wood on here. And I'm just going to use this wood beech. All right, you see what's going on here? This is not looking good at all. And the way the grain is going on this, and it looks all fuzzy and stuff. But let's just carry on for the moment and drag the same one onto here. All right, now, once again, we have the grain going weirdly. And it's difficult. You can flip the direction of grain, but it's usually like for a wooden box. Left to right or up and down, that kind of thing. So this is not going to do for our wagon wheel. All right, let's go back and do a little bit of work. Let's try one more thing before we add any seams. Let's select everything, and let's go U instead of unwrap. Let's try Smart UV Project. But let's put an island margin of 0.03, just like before. And we get this. Okay, everything seems nicely spread out. The problem is that this hub is pretty big, right? These are the pieces of the hub right here. And you can check by choosing this here. Deselect everything. And let's see, let's grab a bit of that. You see the way it highlights? Highlight it a bit more. All right, so that's the piece of the hub, and it's not represented very much in the entire UV space. All right, so you know, any texture going on there might be a little blurry, but we'll find out. Let's make sure we've got everything selected. Let's file, export. Let's just overwrite the other one. We can probably in Substance Painter just do this. All we did is change UVs. Project configuration, we'll select it again. It's already selected. Now we'll just hit OK. It'll do some stuff. And then we're going to bake again. 2K is already set up. Let's let it bake, and then we'll see if there's any improvement or any change. See? Errors. All right. Yeah, it's not looking too good. So, I'm going to try and do this manually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the wheel. This is considered the tire, the outside. That's the wheel. I'm going to press the slash key and isolate that. And I don't know if I showed you this before, but I deleted the back faces here. These are the ones right here that face the tire. We don't need that. I'm going to try simply selecting an edge. Let's turn off the subdivision surface so you can see this better. I'm going to try just cutting it like that by selecting an edge, going Control E, mark seam, A to select it all. Now I've only got the wheel here. U unwrap, and I get a pretty straight piece. Imagine that this was made of a long plane, a long stretch of polys, and then just curved together. Now, I could do a better job on this. I can make it straighter, at least I think I can. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to choose a poly that I like, maybe this one. And in vertex selection mode, I'm going to select those two, and I'm going to go SY0. Straighten them out in the Y. Choose these two, SY0, and then these ones on the side, SX0, and these ones, SX0. Okay, back into number 3, face selection. Select that. I'm going to zoom out a bit, go A to select everything, and then right-click, follow active quads. And I'm just allowing the default values. Okay, length average, okay. Now it's straightened it out. Let's just grab this. Let's just scale it down a bit. Get out of the way. So it fits. You can also do pack islands, then it'll fit it nicely. All right, I'm going to put the subdivision surface back on. I'm going to save. So we have UV unwrapped that. Let's just have a look just at the wheel, because we still got it here. You can see it looks a little sickly, and the grain is not going. It's not bad. The grain's not going the right way. Let's just see what it looks like. Just that. So let's go File, Export, FBX, select it. I'm just going to overwrite that, and we'll start again. I'm going to go for 2K again and discard that. There's my wheel. We have to bake mesh maps. I'm going to do it at 2048. Okay. Looks all right from here. And I should just have that material. Okay, let's drop that in and see. All right. Now my grain is going around the way that I want it to. All right. So that's a good start. All right. So let's go back into Blender. And let's unhide everything else. And let's think about this. Now the steel wasn't so much of a problem the way it was. So let's say we come to this piece here. Let's just isolate that. And you come around to the back of it or whatever. And let's think about this. Let's turn off the subdivision. I am going to select an edge going up until it gets pretty much to the top. I think I'll go one more, and then I'm going to Shift Alt and click this edge. So I'm going to go around this flat surface up the side. Let's come down here. It's pretty much symmetrical, so I'm going to do the same thing. We'll come to here, and I'm going to choose that circle. I'm going to go Control E, Mark Seam. Now there's other stuff, but I might try leaving that alone. Let's see what kind of unwrap we get with this. So mark seams, go A to select it all. U, let's just go unwrap. All right. So it looks like we've got the top and the bottom, and then we got this weird barrel shaped thing, which is this. Let's see if we can straighten this out and how well it would work. So what you do is you look for a poly that looks relatively straight already. And there's that one. Let's just go, let's say, no, it doesn't really matter. All right, I'll just choose that one. All right, so in vertex selection, I'm going to select these two top, SY0. Now there's software, of course, that will automate this for you, but you can still do it in Blender. SX0, SX0. Okay, that's straightened. Select it, A, U, follow active quads. Oh, it straightened that. Now you can optimize this. You can try to use more of the UV space. You could do these pieces individually, in which case you can make this really big and these circles really big, and then do the other piece. I'm just going to try to do them all together, but let's see. Let's see how nicely this unwraps. Maybe with the wheel. Let's just experiment with a few things. So we'll take this, and let's just focus on those two things. Let's try that. Now there's two different materials on here. All right, there's the general wood and there's the wood for the wheel. I'm just overwriting selected objects. Okay. Don't seem to have that discoloration we had before. All right, that's just shadow underneath. Let's try it. This is the regular wood layer. Let's try that. I could live with that as a wood texture. I'm not zooming in on it. See how the wheel goes. And the wheel goes round and round. Okay? So we seem to be on a better track. Now, I'm not saying this is the best wood, and of course I'm just using default presets, but I talked about that before. All right, let's come back to here, and let's see. Maybe the metal is okay. Let's just come into this stuff and see what we can do. What if we were to come in, and because there's nothing on the ends, if I want to unwrap this like it's a present, like this is wrapping paper, right? If we take our scissors and we cut along there, okay, we can then just unfold it. So what if I select, holding down shift, select this edge in all of them? Now, maybe it's a better idea to make one, unwrap it, and then copy it a bunch of times, but hey. Okay, Control E, mark scene. So you should see that on all of them. Let's select it, and let's go U, unwrap. All right, it's not perfect, but it's probably better than it was. Let's bring stuff back. Let's try the hub, the spokes, and the wheel. And that's it. Focus on them. Let's save. All right, here they are. We have two different materials, of course. Bake mesh maps at 2K. This is looking a little odd, and part of the problem is going to be that our UVs are overlapping. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a moment. This may void this experiment here. I want to try just dragging the wood in. I want to see if the spokes. All right, we're not going to get a good result, so we're going to do something different. Let's, with all of that selected, go in. And what you're going to see is that the UVs, let's select everything, are overlapping. This is going to cause a problem. This was our wheel right here. And these are our spokes. And this thing that we straightened here with these is the hub. So what we can do is we can go UV, pack islands, and that'll separate it. The only problem is it shrinks stuff down so that it's less taking up space in the UV window, and therefore the textures won't be as dense. But let's give it a try. Okay, everything looks relatively nice and white. All right, so let's see. Wagon wheel, wood, regular wood. I'm liking the grain on the spokes better. I'm okay with that hub. Let's see what happens when we come over here. I'm just deleting the default layer, putting that on, and we have this. Now it's a little blurry, and that's because it's not getting as much space. It's a big object. So we can look at that a little bit, but the main thing is working. And I mean, look, I'm going to have this at the back of a room. I'm also going to do a bit of sharpening on these things. So, all right, let's go back now. And let's take everything and let's hit A and go in, including all of this stuff. A. And there's some overlapping once again. So I'm going to go UV to pack islands. And my wheel may still have a problem. So let me see. If I go into my wheel, and I unwrap it again to there. I'm just going to try this. I don't think I can get any more space for it. I'm just straightening these again. SX0. SX0. Everything. U. Follow active quads. Length average. If I then come out, select everything, go in, I get this. I bet I'm sure if I just pack islands, it'll do the same thing, but I might. Yeah. See, I got more screen space there, and that is great. All right. This is the one, guys. This is the one. Everything's selected. Export it again. All right, here it is. It's baked and it's ready to go. So let's have a look. Metal. Now this is the stuff that we did not do anything to. Because that's, easily not going to be seen. And remember, in the past, we had lots of seams and we just hid them. All right. So not bad. Not bad at all. All right. And if there's a tiny little seam in the metal, wherever that even was, maybe there, I don't even know if you could see that. Position it so it's not going to be seen. That's not bad at all. Okay. And that's with doing nothing to it. You want to add more dirt, especially where the spokes join. By all means, you can do that. You can carve your initials in this if you want to. What I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to switch over to orthographic view. And I'm going to snap this into place. And I also want to look at 2D, 3D, okay? I'm on the wagon wheel material, and this is my wagon wheel. And see these black lines here? These are the lines where the clips are. And that's great because I want to draw a little line there. So I'm going to zoom in here. Actually, I don't know which one I'm going to hit first, so we'll do it from there. I'm on my wood layer. I'm going to, yeah, I'll do another layer, or do I want to do it in here? I don't know. Let's do another one, a paint layer. And in the paint layer, I'm going to choose, I'm going to go Alt for height, and I'm going to click on color. Height and color is what I want to draw with. For color, I'm going to choose almost black. That's good enough for me. And for the height information, I want these to be indented, so I'm going to slide this all the way down. Let's try that. Now, my brush, I want to use just a basic hard brush. Okay. Okay. So we're going to click, hold Shift, and then Control, and come across. Okay, so we're on this one. Okay, far too big, but you can see what's going on here. So let's bring the size way down. Let's try that. Click, hold Shift and Control. See that? So let's see if I can get into a slightly better position. And that will cut my wheel. And I think I'll go for about that size so it's visible. All right, let's move along. Click, hold Shift and Control, and click. Good enough. Now, you may think that's too dark or too thick, but, just you get the idea. Let's go to the next one. Click, hold Shift and Control, click. One more to go. Instead of modeling it, I can draw it right here. Click, and there we go. Let's go back to just 3D only view. Let's hit Tab and have a look. I could spend more time. Maybe it shouldn't be black. Maybe it should be smaller. But you get the general idea. I come over here just for the fun. We'll activate anti-aliasing and color profile. And we'll choose this film noir, which I like so much. And we have done our wagon wheel. All right. It looks all right as a prop. I don't know if I would want that as a central item right up close. I would maybe do it in 4K. And do some other stuff. Like I say, you can add dirt and dust and scratches and all that stuff. But very quickly, we have shown that we can use Blender alone, on its own, just a UV unwrap. We can try Smart UV Project. We can straighten some of our UVs. We can add a very, very simple seam across this. We didn't even really UV unwrap the metal. We just let Blender do it. And we can do some trials, and that's the thing to do. Try a seam here and there, bring it into Substance Painter, see if it works. If it doesn't, try a seam somewhere else. Try Smart UV Project, try Follow Active Quads, until you find what works for your object. So hope that was helpful and interesting to you. I will be using the wagon wheel in my corridor scene, which I'll be showing you very soon. Thanks for watching.